Have you ever been called lazy? Not just for the little things, like leaving dirty dishes in the sink, but for something bigger? For not wanting to work 70 hours a week, for demanding boundaries, and for unapologetically valuing your life outside of a job? You know the classic line, the one that's been passed down through generations. Back in my day, we worked hard. We sacrificed everything. Not like you kids. But this isn't just a family argument. It's a full-blown generational war. A clash of values so profound, it gave birth to a global phenomenon. And in America, it even became a meme. Okay, boomer. For baby boomers, work wasn't just a job, it was the entire foundation of their lives. It was their golden ticket to the American dream. They came of age in a booming post-war America, where the economy was a rising tide that lifted all boats. My grandfather, a high school graduate, worked at the same factory for 30 years and was able to buy a house, a car, and raise a family of 4. He did it all with a single income. Stories like this weren't an exception. They were the norm. Hard work wasn't just about money. It was about morality. Staying loyal to a company was a virtue. Sacrifice was dignity. The American dream was real, and it was a promise waiting for anyone willing to put in the time and effort. But for millennials and Gen Z, that promise evaporated before our eyes. The game completely changed. We were told to go to college, get a good job, only to be saddled with crippling student loans and faced with a future that felt like quicksand. We watched housing prices skyrocket to unimaginable levels, and stable careers? They've been replaced by a gig economy, short-term contracts, and a constant pressure to hustle. So when a boomer says, just work harder, it sounds less like advice and more like a bad joke. That's why quiet quitting went viral. It's not about slacking off. It's about doing your job, but refusing to burn out for a company that won't ever love you back. And why rejecting hustle culture became a silent act of rebellion. It's not laziness. It's asking, why should work consume my entire life when the reward isn't even there anymore? This clash is everywhere. Boomers see a 25-year-old taking a workcation in Bali, sipping an oat milk latte with avocado toast and a smug look on their face. They say, that's why you can't buy a house. Meanwhile, the 25-year-old looks back, thinking, you bought a 3-bedroom home for the price of my student debt. You don't get to blame the toast. One side built a world where suffering was a badge of honor. The other is trying to escape it entirely. One side believes that loyalty and sacrifice equals virtue. The other believes that boundaries and balance equals sanity. And that fundamental gap, that's the core of the generation war. And this isn't just an American story. It's a global echo. In Japan, older generations mock herbivore men. A generation of young men who've given up on traditional ambitions of career and marriage to seek a simpler, less stressful life. In South Korea, they call themselves the Sampo generation. The generation that's given up on dating, kids, and even home ownership to escape the pressure cooker of society. In China, young people lie flat, Tangping, as a way to rebel against the relentless, cutthroat competition. Different names, different countries, but the same exact story. Every older generation says, we worked harder, you have it easy. But the real question is, have the rules of the game changed? Or has the very definition of a good life? So maybe the fight was never about laziness. Maybe it's about measuring hard work with two completely different rulers. For boomers, it was hours clocked in, a legacy of sacrifice. For Gen Z, it's about value created and a life preserved. And until both sides understand that, the phrase, okay boomer, will keep echoing everywhere. So, what's your take? What does a good life look like to you? Let us know in the comments, and if this story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it.